Welcome all the participants, analysts, and our distinguished guests today afternoon to this launching session of citywide leadership development and citywide inclusive sanitation. Of course, this course will be running from today onwards. This is the course launch day, and then next week onwards, we will be starting with our actual classes or sessions. And our main intention of having this course is achieving the sanitation goals, that is SDG 6 by SDG 6, complying to SBM 2, that is Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 and Amrut Phase 2, which will ultimately lead to the SDG 6 goals. This course is being offered jointly by ADBI Institute, that is Asian Development Bank Institute, as well as Administrative Staff College. And this is the fourth cohort of the course we'll be running on. A very warm welcome to all the participants. Can we go to the next slide? So from ASCI, we have a team of 4 people. Our course director, Professor Srinivas Shari, who is our center director, as well as a course director. This is me, Dr. Rajarshi Banerjee. And along with us, it will be Ms. Josna and Ms. Manjusha, who would be coordinating with the course. We'll be working with you day and night to take you up through this course, to the sessions, to the workshops and submissions, etc. And we have a team from ADBI. We have Dr. Sitaram, who is a senior consulting specialist, and he's as a course director along with Professor Chari. And we have our course coordinators as Ms. Santi and Mr. Dwaiki. And they will be the one who, from the ADBI side, that he will be coordinating with during this course sessions. The next, please. So to talk about the objective of the course, if I may say, it's our course mainly focuses on developing our urban practitioners with the concept of citywide inclusive sanitation, where during this course, you share your experiences, we share ours, we bring in experts speak about their experiences and their skills, and ultimately you develop your knowledge and your skills, not only theoretically, but also you have the capability to actually implement citywide inclusive sanitation program at your places wherever you are working in. What will happen? Once you learn the citywide inclusive sanitation and start implementing it, you will actually get to see results where you will see that livability in urban areas is becoming much more good. You'll see visible changes in public health in and around you, environmental quality around you, and productivity around you going on. And obviously, our main aim of this course is to produce a cadre of sanitation potential who would have that leadership ability to take this sector beyond, and who will be our champions, who will walk the talk and talk the talk. We'll come to what we mean by walk the talk and talk the talk in the later session part of the sessions. Can we go next slide? So as I said, this is the fourth offering of this course. Previously, we have had 3 offerings of this course earlier. And we started with the course in the cohort 1 with 45 participants from different parts of India, different organizations of India. Later on, we built up in the second cohort, we built into 96, and then later into 103 participants in the third cohort. Until now, we have actually created change champions of around 240 professionals from 18 different states. And second cohort and beyond, we have not stayed within the boundaries of India. We have gone beyond, and we have started working with people from Bangladesh, Nepal, and African countries like Burkina Faso, etc. The next slide. Of course, for this cohort, we have equally a good number of participants from South Asia and beyond, where we have 114 participants who would be a part of this cohort. People from India, from different states of India, professionals from different states of India. We have people from Bangladesh. We have people from different organizations participating from Nepal. We have people from Sri Lanka, Philippines, Australia, and Africa. So it doesn't stay within South Asia. We have spread our wings beyond Asia also. That's for your thing. And the next slide, please, Jyotsna. So if I may talk, we have some participants. If I talk of Indian participation, right now in this cohort, we have participation from around 14 states of India. We have professionals who have joined this course from 14 states of India. Other than that, we have people joining from UNICEF, India, Asian Development Bank, Philippines, JICA, that is Japan International Cooperation Agency, India. We have several organizations from Nepal from when people have joined to learn and share their experiences in this course, like Environmental and Public Health Organization, UN Habitat, Department for Water Supply and Sewerage Management, Innovative Solutions Private Limited, Eco Concerns Limited, several, NGOs, government organizations, private companies everywhere. We have people from several people from Bangladesh, Dhaka, and the other places of Bangladesh. We have people from a National Water and Supply and Drainage Board in Sri Lanka. And then we have some people from the academic institutions like BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus, SR University Warangal campus. We have people from Narsapur, that is Swarnandhra College, as well as MVGR Vizianagaram. We have faculty members who would be a part of this cohort and developing themselves. Next. Talking about the kind of professionals we have engineers, we have national and state officials, we have city administrators, we have consultants and advisors who are all working into urban, who are working as urban professionals and especially into water, sanitation, and hygiene. We have academicians who are focused in water, sanitation, and hygiene. And to talk about, this is where I feel so good to say that I see a huge diversity of people and professionals in this cohort where we can actually exchange a huge amount of learning, experiences, ideas. And to talk about experiences, well, we have people who have from 2 years experience to 1.5 decades of experience. So a huge amount of learning, experience learning would also be a part of this cohort. And that's what we would like to bring to you on the table in the next few months. So to talk about this today's agenda, we would start with our welcome address and introductions. And then just to give you an idea, we would go back to a few of our previous cohort alumni members who would be sharing their learning experience, as well as they will be saying how they have walked the talk, talked the talk. That is what they have learned, how they have put it in practice in the places of work they are working in. Later, we would be having our welcome addresses from Deputy Dean ADBI and our senior representative from JICA, India. We will have our inaugural address from Dr. Roshan Sreshtha, BMGF, and our keynote address from Ms. Rupa Mishra. Later on, of course, the later part of the thing, we will get down into a little bit of technicalities where we'll be talking about, we'll start with, of course, understanding the expectations and learning expectations from our present cohort participants. We try to understand that, have a little bit of an introduction and talk about that. And then later on, we'll go a little technical on taking the course guidelines, how the course will be conducted, when, how will we go through, what will be the kind of pedagogy, what will be the kind of assessment, etc. And how would you get into the learning management systems, etc. That would be a last part of the agenda today. Going by that, I would like to introduce our course director from Asian Development Bank Institute, Dr. Sitaram. Dr. Sitaram has been our advisor from the day one we have come up into this course. And he's a senior consulting specialist at ADBI, and he looks after into the capacity building and training portion. Prior to joining in ADBI, if I can say, he has worked in Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, National Institute of Singapore, and he's a founder director of Institute of Water Policy, Global Asia Institute. He has worked with more than 10 Asian countries and several African countries, and has several publications to his credit in terms of books, edited volumes, specifically written on water, sanitation, climate change, etc. Over to you, Dr. Sitaram. I welcome you to give you your opening remarks and inspiration to our participants.
Very good afternoon to all our participants from various countries. I will keep my intervention very, very brief because we will have Deputy Dean of ADBI who will make a formal welcome. I'm going to just share a few points which we had shared with other participants in the past. Are you able to see? Can you make me spotlights? I'm not going to share a screen. Okay, thank you. So the first point that I'd like to bring about to all of you is that the course, as was pointed out, is based on this motivation that we have to really help you all do something different. And what does that mean is to really reflect on the reports in the Goalkeeper report that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is doing every year, and to change this slope. Can we accelerate the progress further, do what is required? So it's a very outcome-oriented aspiration. And for that, we are looking at three important aspects. And in that, some of you represent government, some of you represent the business, some of you represent the civil society and think tanks. All of us work together. And this course covers all these three aspects: policy, service delivery accountability, and also financing. So I hope that out of this course you get not just nuggets which gives you understanding, but also some ideas that you can act on. So later we'll hear from the alumni, and so you can reflect on that. Now let me share my own motivation. What do I mean when I say this course is trying to do some new thinking? Let me try to draw on that inspiration which I've had about 10 years ago. Sanitation to be accessible, so it's not just about providing toilets, but also making it that where it is needed and who needs it. Then very gender specific, and this course has a very important aspect on the importance of toilets and sanitation being available for women, girl children, and also school-going persons. We all know that people are unwilling to pay for sanitation, and that has been a huge policy hurdle. How can we bundle it with other services, like how we have leapfrogged in information technology, internet, and other areas in various countries in South Asia? That has been the motivation for us. Sanitation is not about just delivering service like cable TV or mobile TV. We need to have an idea what will happen after people have used the toilet. What happens to the wastewater? What happens to the fecal waste? All of that will be discussed, how to make that more meaningful, environmentally sustainable. The last and most important thing is to learn from other sectors, energy, telecom, and other sectors where we have made good progress and we have something new to learn. So these are the aspects that I want you to look at. And this course is just one of the many things. Just last week, we completed a 2-week in-person course at Toyo University in Japan, where some of our colleagues were present there to look at the Japanese experience with sanitation more deeply, looking at the system, not just the technology and so on. So this course is one of the many efforts that we are doing to talk to policymakers, to build capacity, and also to raise overall the awareness. And more importantly, as sanitation is a multi-year challenge across political terms, across government terms. So we may need to look at how do we do the succession planning. Success is about succession planning when it comes to sanitation. So with that, let me leave you with some intellectual briefs and others which we will also share during this course. And we can learn from not only from within the region, but also from outside the region, and go back to this three aspects that I speak about: government, society, and corporate sector working together to bring better solutions for sanitation. The last point that I'll bring about here is sanitation is not something that a private sector can deliver. It is a public responsibility. So government has a very important role to have ownership, at the same time also be responsible for delivering it very sustainably. And that's something we will focus on in this course and dwell on deeply and draw lessons from other countries who have done well and what we can do differently in our respective municipalities and so on. So let me leave you with those thoughts, and I hand it back to the organizers to continue the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sitaram. That was such a lovely, inspirational kind of a setting the context. May I welcome our director of the course from Administrative Staff College of India, Professor Chari. Professor Srinivas Chari is a civil engineer and an urban planning and management professional of more than 25 years of experience in public policy, urban governance, WASH, climate change, and urban reforms. With his plethora of experience and expertise, I may request Professor Chari to please take on the dais and set the context for the course and today's agenda. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. Such a pleasure to again come back to this course. Dr. Sitaram, thank you very much. You've been the inspiration for putting together this course. We started in a very nimble way, but it has grown very significantly as a regional program. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank Dr. Roshan, who's been a big inspiration for this program. In fact, he stretches our imagination and always brings some new perspectives. So thank you very much. And I also see our friends, good friends, alumni, also many of our speakers on this inaugural day. I see, many of our friends, from CPHEO, I see a lot of people. I'm not able to take all the names. I see Dr. Rohit Kakkar, I see Dr. Malini here, and I see Kondasan, and I see quite a few other old supporters and friends. Thank you all for joining this inaugural session. So what I'll do is I will pick up some, ideas from Dr. Sitaram and set the context. It's very important that we begin today's conversation having complete clarity on how we are going to move forward over the next period, next 2 months or so. And very importantly, this time we have added a field visit component. So I welcome all of you to join the field visits at Hyderabad. I welcome even the earlier cohorts, cohort 1, 2, 3, to also join this field visit, because this is, now we are opening up. We went through the COVID period, so we couldn't really organize field visits, but this time we will have field visits. So we request all of you to join in person for a period of 1 week. That's, I think, uniqueness. Now, what I'll do is I'll set the context. Josna, if you can give me access, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you have it, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have 10 minutes, so just a caution on time. Yeah.
Absolutely less than that. Thank you. So what I'll do is I'll set the context so that we are all on the same page from today onward, so that we don't get distracted with many things that we hear about sanitation. So in different contexts, sanitation has different definitions. As far as we are concerned, we believe that from public health point of view, Sanitation is about provisioning of facilities and services and support systems for safe disposal of human urine and feces. If I speak to sanitation to an Indian practitioner, the high recall item of their definition of sanitation is municipal solid waste management. I agree that it's important, but from a risk perspective, this course, the citywide inclusive sanitation, focuses heavily on human urine and feces disposal. We often call it as human waste disposal. I agree that sanitation also refers to maintaining hygiene conditions through services such as garbage collection and wastewater disposal. We do cover a couple of these things, but our focus of attention is on excreta management, used water management, and anything that interfaces with this. It could be solid waste management or stormwater drainage management will also be touched upon, but our focus is on excreta or human waste management or used water management. So that's very, very important to understand, so that there is certain amount of people call me, are we covering garbage, 5-star rating city concepts and other things? The focus here is on excreta management, often called as human waste management. Every city leader, their aspiration is to provide safe sanitation services for improving public health and environmental quality. Every city manager wants to provide this service, sorry about it, not only for the rich, but for everybody. That is called inclusive planning. We just don't want to provide in certain geographies in the city, couple of wards, but to get this benefit of public health, it has to be city-wide. And very importantly, it is not for 1 day or 1 week or 1 month. It has to be seamlessly sustainable, 365 days, seamlessly sustainable financially also. So the aspiration of the city leader through this course, city-wide inclusive sanitation, is about safe sanitation, sanitation as I defined earlier, covering everybody, not just excluding some, but just not focusing on some, but covering everyone for overall public health benefit, overall environmental benefit, and very importantly, sustainable service delivery. How do we get this sustainable service delivery? Not once a week or service delivery or periodic service delivery, but sustainable service delivery. This whole concept is citywide inclusive sanitation. We'll get into the technicalities, but I thought it's important to set this context outline. As I said, sanitation is a public health issue. That's why if you look at any geography, whether it is Bangladesh, Nepal, India, we are not called as civil engineers. We are not called as sanitation engineers. We are called as public health officials. We are preventing disease burden in the society because sanitation is a public health. And this got amplified during this pandemic period. There's no doubt about it. So our function is to protect public health by providing safe sanitation in a citywide context, in a sustainable context, in an inclusive context. And that's what this course is going to focus. And that's what we are going to bring some interesting leading practices and share with you and also learn from you. Now, I would like to just ask you, Dr. Sitaram raised a point. Is sanitation, which is about human waste management, both in terms of safe containment, desludging, conveyance, treatment, disposal of human waste, is a public service and a municipal function, or is it a private affair? What is your view? Is it a municipal function or is it a private arrangement? Because I build my own toilet, I build my own containment system, I hire a private desludger right now and then manage somehow, and I don't even have an idea. That's a private arrangement. What is your perspective? Is it a municipal function or is it a private function? So 91% of you said, thank you. We can end the poll, Josna. 91% of you said that it is a municipal function. Now, if it is a municipal function, Josna, can we remove this? I have to remove it. Okay. If it is a municipal function, then it's a great news. Then we have to design our systems accordingly. Currently, it is perceived as, or it is driven as a private function. But now many of you are committing, and many of us are committing, that it is a public service. Provision of safe sanitation is a public service to be led by the local government. Then we have to design our systems to treat like a public service and deliver like a public service. For example, let me give you, garbage management is taken as a public service, but human waste management is often perceived as a private problem. So we need to change this narrative, and we need to design our systems to design and deliver this as a public service. And I'm very happy that many of you feel that it is a public service to be led by the municipal system or a local government. Now, just to take a little bit of technicalities forward, now this sanitation, that human waste management, can be delivered through multiple ways, as we all know, through a sewer systems, network systems, or decentralized network systems. You see all these systems in all our towns, especially in big cities, may not be in all small towns. We may not have sewer systems centralized or decentralized. This is a second option. The third option is on-site systems. This is a third way of delivering sanitation systems. And the fourth is, of course, pit toilets, twin pit, single pit toilets. This is another form of on-site system. Now, these are different mechanisms of achieving safe sanitation. Some are good, some are not good, some have to be designed well, some have to be managed well, but these are options available. And we also know that centralized sewage system is expensive. It costs a lot of money. It requires high O&M cost. It requires huge amount of water. And that's why even in a country like India, even in big capital cities, we have very, very small portion of the city having sewer systems. As India as a whole, it's just about, an urban area, it's about 30% of population are connected to centralized systems. Rest are all on-site systems. These are on-site systems. The national program in India, like in Dhaka, like in Nepal, have recognized this and invested heavily in creating what is called on-site systems. This is a national program, Clean India Mission program. Millions of toilets have been built. Millions of public conveniences are built, and almost 4,000 plus cities have become open defecation free. Now, the question we need to ask at this stage, are these containment systems built as per the technical standards? Whether it is in Nepal, Bangladesh, Africa, India, are we building these systems as per the technical designs? Are we aware of, as practitioners, if we believe it is a public service and it is a municipal function, then we need to regulate them. Are we regulating is a question. I'm just posing certain questions in this opening remark. Now, 80+% of the poll says that it is not regulated. All these systems are actually treatment units, but unregulated right now. So then if it is a public service and a municipal function, then we need to bring this concept of regulation, which we will speak about as we progress. Very, very important. Now, let me take the conversation a bit forward. When we build these on-site systems, we need to ask this question whether they are regulated. Do we have a soak pits downstream? Do we have chambers, baffle? These are all the design criteria which are super important to bring the safe sanitation agenda up. But these are not done. Hence, we need to reflect on this and try to regulate it and try to improve or retrofit wherever it is possible. Now that we build this through Clean India Mission or any other missions of respective governments, we have built these containment systems. Is it good enough? And we all know that it is not good enough, because there's unsafe practice of handling, unsafe evacuation, unsafe disposal, and this needs to be fixed. This is one of the towns where we were working a couple of years back, and this was a practice which was followed, where the septage or the waste of this on-site systems are actually discarded in a water body which is connected to the drinking water reservoir. We call it as summer storage tank. Now, this is unsafe sanitation practice. Now, the question is, does this happen in your city? Absolutely not. I don't think so. Or unfortunately, yes. What is your view? Can I have the poll? Josna, is there any poll? Can I get your views, quick views? This is worrying actually. 60+% of the, or even more, feels that it is happening. And many of us don't even know. 30% of the population of the cohort practitioners are not aware where this waste is going, and the citywide inclusive sanitation should start looking at some of these issues. It is not just about toilet provision, but ensuring safety of this whole, what we call sanitation service chain. As I said, it's a nasty effluent, and this nasty effluent can cause significant damage to public health, and which we will discuss as we progress. Now, this is where the citywide inclusive sanitation starts looking at it, sanitation in totality. Very, very important. Now, this component of fecal sludge and septage management, many of us are aware of and many of us are doing, actually needs to be strengthened further because we believe it's a public service. Now, we have to treat it. There are a lot of fecal sludge treatment plants. You will see during your visit some of these fecal sludge treatment plants as a treatment option. We have discussions on various technologies, very innovative technologies as part of this course. But have we solved the problem by addressing this fecal sludge management? May not be, because a substantial portion of the waste in our cities is flowing in the form of grey water. Now, this grey water has high pollution potential, and it can potentially cause health, can contaminate the water bodies. So the citywide inclusive sanitation doesn't stop looking at fecal sludge management, but looks at sanitation in totality and tries to address this systematically in a planned manner. And that's what this course is all about. It's not just about it. We have centralized systems, we have decentralized systems. So we will be sharing with you a number of these examples of how this grey water management issues are also solved as part of it. Now, my last point, and this is what Dr. Sitaram also amplified. How do you ensure that these solutions are delivered seamlessly on a sustainable basis? The question I'm going to ask are basically four. Do you have a framework in place for human waste management? As state governments or as national governments or city governments, do we have a framework to deal with it? Like, for example, we have a very clear framework for municipal solid waste management. You go to any province in India, even in Bangladesh, even in Sri Lanka. Other day I was in Japan talking to Dr. Sitaram, and a number of countries. They have a very clear framework for municipal solid waste management, but there is no framework for human waste management. It's rather unfortunate. It is not captured in the municipal acts. It's not captured in, so that framework is important. Do we have functions devolved to the local government? Do we have functionaries earmarked? Like the way municipal solid waste has a very clear department with human resource deployment, with financial deployment, but we don't have similar deployment, both human resources and finances, when it comes to human waste management, when it comes to core sanitation agenda. So this course actually is going to provoke all of us to look at these 4 Fs. Framework is important, functions are important, functionaries are important, finances are important. Otherwise, we may establish an FSTP, we may establish a STP for solving this, septage, for solving this grey water management issues through centrally sponsored scheme or national schemes, but sustaining it requires these 4 Fs. And we are going to speak extensively about these 4 Fs. My last quiz for today. Does your municipal act has legal provision for safe sanitation? When I say legal provision, it means clear directions, clear regulations, functionaries, finances, monitoring performance. Does your municipal acts have this provision of how the on-site systems or centralized systems are regulated, managed, how it is conveyed, who is going to pay for it? Let me see. And I would love to hear from those who said, 30% of you said yes. I would love to hear, and that's what this course is about. Learning from each other, but majority of you said that we don't have, the acts doesn't say much about this, and this CVIS course is actually trying to institutionalize sanitation in as part of the municipal service delivery. That's very, very important for ensuring that this service gets delivered seamlessly on a sustainable, continuous basis. So just to summarize, our aspiration as course provider is to enhance the understanding of city leader, to envision this as a public service, help plan, a service delivery improvement plan, communicate this plan to policymakers and practitioners. We're going to bring a lot of politicians to this conversation as we progress. Some politicians have done fantastic work financing this whole agenda, implement, monitor. So this course is actually about 6 agenda items, as I said, and maybe more. And this course is going to help us to go through each of these steps as we progress. So I would stop here. I've taken a bit more time, but I think it's important to have a common understanding that this citywide inclusive sanitation is primarily about safe sanitation. It's about making it as a public service. And if it is a public service, how do we deliver this public service on a sustainable basis, for which those Fs are very, very important. How do we bring those Fs gradually, and what are the leading practices? What are the good practices from Bangladesh, Nepal, Africa, India? We will share. And of course, Japan. They have fantastic examples, and I get really, really inspired when I look at some of the Japanese on-site experiences, and that's where we bring, Hashimoto-san, colleagues from JICA and others to speak about that experience. Thank you very much, Dr. Banerjee. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Chari. That was such a beautiful way of putting everybody on the grounds. Jyotsna, can you start the next phase? The next phase would be, we would try to, as I said, we would try to see how our previous cohort practitioners have learned from us and put them in practice. We would try to see what we mean by walk the talk, talk the talk. And in this context, we have a lot of our alumni in this meeting right now here, but I would like to invite a few of people. Can I invite Mr. Imtiaz?
So I'm also an alumni, so my photograph is there. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. Next.
Yeah, can we invite Mr. Imtiaz?
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Banerjee. I think I am audible.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So what I can say, I can say that it was a wonderful experience that we attended the 3rd cohort of ASCI's training. And actually, it was just not a theoretical delivery training. There were lots of discussion sessions. There were lots of experience sharing sessions, and we watched lots of videos. And what I believe is that the group works, the discussions, all these things actually led the learning process to the understanding level, because if we just hear the technical delivery, then we can't understand. And the most important thing is that already Professor Chari said that it's just not some engineering technologies. We need to manage these technologies. We need to ensure that the service is ensured to the people. And the most important part is that the service is needed to be reached to the people who need it most, who are actually lacking from our system, existing system, from getting the service. So these are the things the course will step by step will discuss, and I hope you will enjoy the course. Lots of participants are here. I just would like to request all of you, like in our last.
I guess there's a power
Dr.
failure.
Banerjee, I think there was a power outage.
Power failure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, by the time Imtiaz Bhai comes up, can we listen from Miss Birija, who works with UNICEF Jharkhand, about her experiences during the course and how she is putting up in practice of her learnings? Miss Birija.
Thank you, Dr. Rajeshwari. So I am Birija. I work as WAS officer in Chhattisgarh, not in Jharkhand. I'm sorry. So it's like I attended the second cohort. It was between June to August, I think, in 2021. And also I had visited Telangana for an exposure visit with my colleagues from UNICEF. So regarding this course, I would mention it's a very comprehensive course. It speaks about your the policies, programs, act. It's not just India or different ULB. It speaks of from different parts of the globe, and technology, how to make plan, how to the success stories of various implementers, and also leadership, how they have taken in their state, in the ULB. So you'll be getting a very good scope of understanding a complete package of citywide inclusive sanitation, gender inclusiveness, how people have involved transgender and SHG groups in the complete FSSM value chain, and also by what they have gaining, how they are meeting the livelihood also. So a lot of learning had happened. We had done a series of group discussions, did planning, lot of assignment you'll be getting. So it was very interesting, though sometimes you feel it is a burden, but it's not that. It will help you, like it will help you a lot when you are implementing or supporting government. So by this learning, what I have done, I would like to mention you, because it was a good learning, which in UNICEF, you know, we work as a expert and also as a manager. So when we plan, we keep in consultants, we put some civil society organization or supporting ULBs and government for the implementation. That first thing is you would understand what to keep, understand the situation of the city and the state, and what can be in that if we can go in very micro level, you can understand how to put them in their TOR, and how to plan the basic important prioritize thing and plan. We have taken 2 ULB, like one is municipality, one is Ambikapur is the municipal corporation, and Kumar is the municipality, where we have started doing the baseline survey. So your understanding and of this thing will support you in developing research also. In baseline surveys, we have done a citywide inclusive sanitation baseline survey in both the ULP and functionality assessment of the FSTP, and series of IC activities, communication, it's very sensitization activities, keeping the level of different stakeholder in the city. So a lot of wall paintings, communication, focus group discussions, research, planning of identifying the gap, and suggesting suggesting ULB how to do it. So this was a very good experience, and I am actually utilizing this. Even if I don't think I remember everything, but I have everything that I have access to refer, and also whenever it is required, I do, and have a confidence if I can approach Professor Chari, and then I'll get all the things. And many of them also, Joshna also very helpful. Whenever I feel gay, I feel gay. There is somebody. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Pooja, thank you so much. But we are looking into the paucity of time. We have we have a lot of things to do today. So thank you so much for sharing so detailed experiences of yours. But may I, as a part of the next, may I invite Dr. Baik, the Deputy Dean of ADBI, and ask him to give his welcome address. He's the Deputy Dean of, he has remained Deputy Dean, Deputy Minister of Planning and Coordination at the Ministry of Economy and Finance, Republic of Korea, before joining ADBI. With his 30 years of experience in economic development and policy experience, may I welcome Dr. Baik to give his welcome address here.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Thank you very much. This is Sungju Baek, Deputy Dean of the ADBI. Distinguished participants, I warmly welcome you all to the ADBI ASCI online course on leadership development for citywide inclusive sanitation. I particularly appreciate your enthusiasm to learn more about citywide inclusive sanitation in the next 10 weeks through taking online self-study sessions and the live peer sessions on Wednesdays and Saturdays, while you are otherwise busy with your day job as government officers. I'm delighted that ASCI is building on the success of the past 3 online programs held in November 2020, June 2021, and March 2022. The first cohort was attended by 44 participants, where 100% of those who responded to our participant survey rated the workshop as very satisfied or satisfied. The second cohort was attended by 103 participants, where 100% of the respondents noted that they would be able to apply the knowledge gained in the event in their work. The third cohort was attended by 71 participants, where all of the respondents agreed that the event agenda was organized well. I thank the ASCI and ADBI teams for taking on board the feedback from the alumni from the first 2 cohorts to design the curriculum for this third cohort. As you know, sanitation gaps are a global problem that continues to affect large segments of developing Asia and the Pacific, despite the considerable progress of efforts to address it in recent decades. Governments, international agencies, and private organizations have invested heavily in sanitation improvements in Asia and globally in recent decades, though the benefit for vulnerable groups such as the poor, women, and children have yet to be systematically captured. Many researchers on sanitation pinpoint what progress has been achieved, where efforts are still lacking, and what types of program work. New empirical evidence also provides a strong foundation on which practitioners and policymakers can build future programs on sanitation and related sustainable development goals. There is also a need to better understand how to optimize sanitation services across households, considering prices, competition, and other supply-side factors. In this context, I sincerely hope you will gain global knowledge on sanitation from the interactive sessions, learn about good practices of implementation in Asia from the virtual exhibitions, and exchange views on lessons learned from these experiences with the faculty and fellow participants. I trust this course will be useful to you for developing and implementing inclusive sanitation projects in your respective municipalities. Finally, I hope you have a wonderful time on this course and achieve success with the cooperation of all the participants, speakers, and organizers. Please feel free to share your experiences and ask critical questions of our invited speakers so you can learn more from their expertise and receive important advice on improving sanitation services. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Banerjee, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Beck. That was such an inspiring way of putting our participants. May I request our next speaker of the day, Mr. Shaikondo, who has been actively supporting the Achhi Aadat campaign here from JICA, India. And he was one who was an active participant during the peak pandemic times in 2020, 2021. He brought in the liaison between Japan and the support we received from Japan to India. He's also headed several projects and sewerage master plans in countries like Fiji. And as a director of environment management team, JICA, he has worked in some more than 24 countries in Africa. I welcome Mr. Shaikondo to give his welcome address in this session.
Thank you very much, Professor Joshi. Can I audible?
Pardon?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you are absolutely.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for introducing me. And I'm second senior representative of JICA India in New Delhi. So it is a privilege for having a welcome address today. So I would appreciate to organizers to provide such an opportunity. First of all, I would like to sincerely congratulate the successful launch for this fourth cohort. Actually, I also attended the first cohort of this course as just introduced as one of the guest lecturers when I was in JICA head office as a director in charge for the environmental management. I am indeed delighted to see that this course has grown further and further, both in terms of the number of the participants and geographically, across not limited to India, but even across the borders and even the continents from the first cohort. I believe this shows the urgency and the importance of the city-wise inclusive sanitation concept in achieving improved water quality and sanitation and throughout the public. I believe this 2-month course, comprehensive and intensive course, provides participants a valuable foundation and perspective, not only for learning the concept of city-wise, but also sharing mutual learning, each experience and future network. I'm delighted and impressed to see the messages from the alumni just shared now, and who mentioned there are many fruitful learnings from the takeaway from the course. I would also appreciate Professor Chari and Professor Joshi and ASCI colleagues and Dr. Sitaram from ADBI for long-time collaboration with JICA, not only with this course, but also work closely in recent years and even accept our colleagues from the very beginning of the first cohort. I would sincerely appreciate it for providing us such an excellent opportunity for a shared learning process for future in-depth collaboration. Well, I have been working at JICA India office since last year, but before coming here in Delhi, I just mentioned that I worked in head office in Tokyo in the department responsible for environmental management. As many of you may aware, the water and sanitation sector is a significant portfolio of our corporation and operation, especially in India. We have been supporting the improvement of sanitation services in many cities across India. I believe this city-wide concept will bring fresh insight and different angle perspectives for future cooperation. We, JICA, are also on the way of this journey to mainstream this concept to realize inclusive sanitation. In this occasion, let me share a few points which we, JICA, as a development organization, sees city-wide inclusive sanitation as a key concept in the future cooperation, which I believe the points I will be mentioning will be resonate the other speakers, which now set in the context. So I just prepared the one simple slide, and could I ask Yosuna to share the slides? Okay, thank you very much. So in our understanding, citywide inclusive sanitation is an overarching key concept to realize all the residents in the city to access sustainable sanitation services with adequate sanitation service chain, which will eventually benefit to entire public health, environment, and economics. Of course, now it should be work closely together, every stakeholders. In this regard, I think that having holistic and comprehensive viewpoint from the early stage of the planning is the key to mainstream this concept into practice. For doing so, understanding of policymaker and urban planner and the practitioner, including all of you, is crucially important, I believe. Details of the concept will be elaborated in the course, I believe, but let me share our perspective and understanding of its importance. First, it should be based on evidence of how, why, and where sanitation services are failing or succeeding. In other words, it highlights the importance of evidence-based planning. Second, as the name suggests, it highlights that it should include all citizens in inclusive manner, regardless of rich and poor, formal and informal settlements. It also needs to address the entire sanitation service chain and involves optimized mix of sewered and non-sewered services, which Professor Charlie highlighted just now. In addition, this concept non-limits its boundary in narrow sense of sanitation. The necessary coordination should be considered with many elements of urban planning, including solid waste management, drainage, water supply, land use management, and housing as well. Hence, having holistic and comprehensive viewpoint as a planner would be essential. Last but not least, it cannot be stressed enough about the importance of building institutional capacity, accountability, and the financial mechanisms for sustainable services. We, JICA, as a development agency, providing both in technical cooperation and financial assistance as a cooperation modalities, we pursue to maximize developmental impact of our cooperation with emphasis of capacity development, as well as providing support to construct hard infrastructure. From a viewpoint of project formulation and supervision, executing agencies should have enough ability for proper project supervision and progress monitoring through appropriate staffing and continuous capacity building activities. Needless to say, this online course is aimed at the heart of this point, I believe. As the name of the course itself suggests, this course will create future change leader or change champions to materialize CY's concept into real practice. I finish my welcome address by wishing you all the best for the success of your learning journey with fulfilled joy, gaining new perspective, and most importantly, creating a robust network amongst the participants. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shea. We absolutely take your words of looking into the citizens and not, all the citizens and not just the poor, and we looking into not going into assumptions and looking into the complete FSM service chain. We absolutely take your words, and we will go ahead with that in that course curriculum as well. May I welcome next our for the inaugural address, Dr. Roshan Raj Shrestha from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He is the Deputy Director, and he has worked with, he works as a Global Growth and Opportunity Division of Water, Sanitation and Hygiene there, joining in 2012. Prior to that, he has worked with UN Habitat as a Technical Region Advisor for South Asia. And Dr. Shrestha, I'm happy to introduce you to some of your colleagues who are working in ENPHO organization you had founded some 15 years ago. Dr. Shrestha, please.
Thank you, Banerjee, Dr. Banerjee. Very delighted to be here, and I'm really surprising to see the way how this cohort is moving forward. Now it's already fourth cohort is running. This is something that we all need to be proud of it. Professor Ari, Dr. Sitaram, and all our team, when we started this cohort, we discussed a lot how to start this program and what can be, how can we do that because of the COVID. We really can't run this course the face-to-face. And this online course is really making difference. So there's something I really, I must need to thank Professor Ari and Dr. Sharam, how they developed this architect to deliver such a advanced, such a fantastic program in last couple of, I would say now several years already, 2-3 years already started. So, and other interesting thing is, this is the program, the way how it evolved, that's very interesting. This history I should really talk about a little bit because if you just go back 6-7 years, then we all know that the way how we are dealing with sanitation is totally different. Because that time we talked only about the toilet, sewer, and so on. We never talked about the fecal source management those days. About 6-7 years, 7-8 years back, let's say. And when Government of India started this movement of sanitation, then the Swachh Bharat mission started, and the main goal was how to eradicate, eliminate open defecation, pre-country, and in all the India, South Asia moved forward on that. And slowly that time we talk about the fecal source management as one of the components to be addressed. And the way how we involved there, I still remember because I'm starting from here to 2015, working with Professor Ari and a lot of colleagues here those days. And then when we established one fecal source treatment plant in the Devanhalli, one of the small town in Bangalore, we were so proud of that. Oh, now we have very new university started and the fecal source management started. That was the one system was making a lot of changes. And then now if you see the count, the number of fecal source treatment system in India is more than 500, 600, maybe it reaches 1,000 already. So the massive, this change is happening, and then people are starting to talk about different way of sanitation because it's no more septic tank, peat, and the sewer. There are a lot of things need to be addressed. And those days when we talk about the fecal source management, I would say we are quite successful in last couple of years. We're quite successful in India, and slowly this expanded to other countries in South Asia, in Sub-Saharan Africa as well. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is strongly advocating for that. And then while working on that, then we realized that, again, fecal source management, if we really discuss on that, again, it is going to be infrastructure project because everybody talking about a fecal source treatment plant, not the management aspect. So how can we bring that other approach so that people will think about differently about the system? So it is not like the technology, it's not like engineering subject. We only talk about the Professor Ari and other colleagues mentioned about this is the public health issue, this is the service model, this is the governance, this is the institutional. So how can we address all those things? Then we came up with the idea about city-wide inclusive sanitation, and this really bringing a new dimension about the addressing the sanitation. It's not only fecal sludge, it's not only sewer, it's governance, it's system change. And the way how we are now evolving and the way how we are working on that direction, but we need to have a very strong mechanism how to educate that. And during this last 4 or 5 years in India, how we developed the different model of CY cities in India, for example, ASCI, Administrative Staff College, Professor Ari and his team is one of the strong team who demonstrated CY program in the Warangal, Narsapur. Similarly, other partner like SEP University started in the Y, and in Tamil Nadu we started Trichy, and we did a lot of things in the Orissa. That really brings very interesting example how CY looks like. Similarly, some projects are also going in Bangladesh and little Nepal. So now we have tons of examples are here to tell that what is CY and how it looks like. But we need to educate a lot. So it's not only 1 or 2 people or 100, 200 people, it's thousands of people need to be learning about the CY concept. And it is not engineering things. It is not engineering job. It's not only the sanitation professional job. It's not only the water sector job. This is the job of the governance, means we need to bring different professionals. I was in Tokyo just last week, and Dr. Shiramalli mentioned about the one training program we have concluded there. And that time I was surprised to listen from the Ministry of Finance people, Planning Commission people, the way how they were talking about totally different, because they said that we never know about all the sanitation system. Sanitation also should have all those issues need to be considered. So that means we need to bring more non-sanitation professionals to make it success. Otherwise, we'll not be successful, because CY is not only sanitation. CY is entire system, means you need to bring so many institutional people, so many different professionals background. And by looking at all this, I'm so surprised the 101 or 102 people are joining here with different background, different institutional setting, and government, senior officials, middle class officials, so many other institutions are joining. This is the way how we really need to go. And that's why this is, I would say, this is not a training program. I would say this is like the exchange program. Exchange program is very much well-organized way under the leadership of ASCI. This is really great. And also, Professor Sari already welcoming you also to come to India to see the thing. That also is great. And not only now South Asia, you can see that from the colleague from Sub-Saharan Africa is also coming here. So this is very interesting. So if we can do this kind of program for some time, I'm sure the SDG will be achieving quite fast. I'm not saying that we can achieve within this the time frame what is targeted, but we can reach much faster all these goals what we are talking about globally. So let's work together. I'm very much excited. As Professor Ari was talking about the sanitation tour that they are planning to organize, you need to come to India, learn, and also not only from India, we should also go to Africa, we should go to Bangladesh, Nepal, and other countries as well, so that everybody need to learn from each other. This is a great way, and we are always happy to be there, and looking forward to working with you all, colleagues, and then also like to see you face to face as well. And thank you so much for everybody here, and thanks a lot to organize it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you so much, Dr. Shrestha. I mean, like you brought into the light that it's not an engineering subject. Sanitation is not an engineering subject. CS is actually a holistic development of all the sanitation professionals. Thank you so much for bringing that into light. For the next part of the thing, may I ask Professor Chari to take over and welcome our keynote address speaker for the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. We have a very esteemed guest today to deliver a keynote address, and I'm very happy that Ms. Rupa Mishra ji has joined us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining this afternoon, that too on a Saturday. I know that you are definitely working on this Saturday because of Swachh Amrit Mahotsav that you are leading right now. I keep track of the tweets. So just a brief introduction to Rupa Mishra ji. She is shouldering the responsibility of the whole Clean India mission for the global community, but we call it as Swachh Bharat Mission, urban, 4,000 plus urban local bodies. So she's anchoring as a mission director, sitting at Government of India, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, taking multiple responsibilities, looking at municipal solid waste management, garbage-free India, to used water management to clean up our water bodies and rivers, both from public health point of view and environmental point of view. But what is very exciting to me, and I would love to introduce this, take another 30 seconds, is this campaign of Swachh Amrit Mahotsav. I think some of you in the region, you would understand. This is actually a celebration of sanitation. This is the first time that we as a country, through the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, has prioritized sanitation and celebrating it as Seva Divas on the 17th of September. And it's a fortnight program. And there is no better tribute to call 2nd of October, or Mahatma Gandhi's birth anniversary, as Swachh Bharat Divas. I mean, there is no better tribute and better narrative to sanitation than what I heard, what you have launched yesterday for the benefit of all the municipalities. So without taking much time, I would like to welcome her, and I would like to thank her for taking out time, and I request you to deliver your keynote address. Ma'am, this is a group of 100 plus participants, not only from India, from practitioners. They're all practitioners. They're not like me who are only speaking. They're actually practitioners, and they are all municipal commissioners, senior municipal engineers from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and East Africa, a couple of them from East Africa and few of them from ADBI, Philippines, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Chari, as always. And namaskar, all of you, and welcome from Team Swachh, Government of India, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Chari and his team of ASCI for continuously, relentlessly pursuing the cause of sanitation and contributing in numerous ways towards India's incredible journey of sanitation. At the same time, I would also like to thank and compliment each one of our partners. I've been listening to your addresses, some of yours, starting from ADBI, JICA, as well as from BMGF. We have partnered with each one of you in different ways over these 8 years, and we will continue to do so. Thank you, and keep joining hands with us, and let's do some terrific work over the next phase of this mission 2.0. Also, I would like to welcome and convey my good wishes to each one of the participants who have joined from across India and look towards the learnings that this country, with its numerous challenges and great varieties of work, provides to the global fraternity to carry forward in your own customized ways in your respective nations. And last but not the least, I would like to convey my good wishes to all our state participants. I see a lot of state participants present here. I'm sure you will find a great deal of resource, learning, mutual interaction, and very importantly, positive networking within a cohesive group that works beyond boundaries and borders and contribute towards this entire fraternity of sanitation, which is so keen towards the development. Now, coming to where Professor Chari was left, and from where I would like to pick up, this is the time of the year when, after a very, very difficult phase of COVID, all of us are once again looking up. This digital platform of capacity building, of knowledge sharing, trust me, would not have reached this level had it not been for the great lessons that COVID taught us. Imagine within 7 days of, maybe 7 to 8 days of lockdown, all of you must have read in the newspapers that standing here in Delhi, you could see the mountain ranges of Himalaya. Trust me, it was actually happening. People could see far off hills, which otherwise in normal days you couldn't see. That is a kind of pollution that came down, and it was all human action, human activity, vehicular movement stopped, and immediately the air pollution dipped. There was a country where toilet papers ran out, people ran out of toilet papers. And that is a time when technology came in, wherein toilets, along with water spray, came in to substitute what the requirement of toilet papers. We also saw that that was a time when everybody started accepting and adopting basic hygiene practices like masking, hand washing, social distancing, consumables that were connected with COVID patients, etc., to the extent of using cutlery separately, washing it separately. Is it not a great learning experience, especially in this fraternity that would appreciate the contributions of teachers like Professor Chari? And we have just come out of 5th September celebrations, right? So COVID has been a great teacher. And all of us in social sector programs like drinking water, health, sanitation, etc., possibly need to look and draw from the spectacular learnings that we have of social behavior change and sanitation and hygiene impact that came during this period. This brings us to a very, very important aspect, that we have reached a stage nationally and globally where no more we can say that not taking care of safe collection, of safe containment, transportation, management / processing of waste, be it used water, be it fecal sludge, be it about solid waste, it is urgent and it is imperative. Any country can any longer say that collection is enough or possibly containment is enough. We will have to do the entire value chain. And this is another great learning that all of us have as a fraternity, as a sanitation fraternity, have today after 8 years, that we will have to look at the entire value chain, starting from the point of collection to the point of final processing. And today, what we say is processing is not the last step, processing for reuse and bringing it back into the circular loop. Now, this is fantastic growth of knowledge and learnings between us as a fraternity. This one thing which I summed up in one line will possibly make volumes of sanitation capacity building modules. And I'm sure if we were to analyze, deliberate on each of these as a thread, all of you over the next few weeks would possibly come up with 100 case studies that go towards establishing that it is just not adequate and enough to look at one of these points. We will look at the entire value chain. The other thing that we have learned, again from COVID and from our 8 years of experience, that it is no longer enough to address any social sector aspect like sanitation, either with a lens of engineering or with a lens of infrastructure or with a lens of, let's say, psychology or social behavior change communication or any which one dimension. All of it need a 360-degree approach and a convergent mechanism to have the maximum output. Look at sanitation and look at India's journey. Starting from the intent and the commitment from the highest level that comes from the Prime Minister as its chief communicator of the program and the chief motivator, different kinds of aspects have been built together, be it policy, be it technology support, be it capacity building, networking, the social behavior change communication, IT platforms, leveraging and catalyzing the startup network, triggering research and innovations, case study, academic content, modular build-up, discussions in different forums, strategic partnerships to with every partner who can bring their bit of the value. Look at the entire dimension. Unless we approach all of it, looking at it again from a 360-degree approach, no aspect can be successfully redressed, and certainly not sanitation. And today, as we stand here in the year 2022, and in the 8 years of completion of Swachh Bharat and 1 year of completion of the phase 2 of Swachh Bharat 2.0, which has the vision of garbage-free cities, the challenges before us are quite significant. But we are extremely hopeful with our learnings of the past and with the partnerships that we have, we will be able to do it. And each of you in that, individually and collectively, will have to bring in a contribution, a great contribution. And all of you for that will have to look around your city beyond your boundaries. Today we are talking of rural, urban. We are talking of networking between nations for capacity building and knowledge sharing. So start looking at what your city is and start looking at you as a waste producer. How many of you have planned an event in the last, let's say, 3 years? In the last 3 months, you could have possibly organized an event which is a seminar. You could have organized an event which is a birthday party. You could have organized a youth event, anything. You do a lot of tick marking, A, B, C, D, E, my dais has to be this is my guest list, this is my budget, this is my flyer, this is my branding, this is my social media. How many of you start with the very concept that I am going to do a zero waste event? I will complete the event, but how much of waste am I going to generate as an individual, as an entity? And each of us has a responsibility, because we are part of the Swachh team, part of the sanitation fraternity. We will have to understand very well. The reason I say this is each of us has to understand very well the journey of waste, be it solid waste, be it liquid waste. The moment we understand the journey of waste, the points of generation, and the respective journey of waste in our respective cities, we will never be able to plan. So what is the current journey of waste and what should be the ideal journey of waste? It is our responsibility that our land is not polluted, our water is not contaminated, and our air or atmosphere does not become impure. So to take care of our land, water, and our air, what is the present journey of waste in my city and what should be the ideal journey of waste in my city? And for that, what kind of projects I need, what kind of financing I need, what kind of technology I need, what kind of collaboration I need. Does my team have the capacity? Which is the team that is to deliver? Do I need to have bylaws in my place? What kind of partnerships? What is the monitoring framework? What is a digital platform? Everything else will thereafter fall in place. But first is we all need to know, not in an ad hoc manner, not at all in silos, not at all in a patchwork, but in a very clear way, looking at the way our cities are growing, looking at a way our plan of the urban area is evolving, looking at the future aspects as to what is the prospect of my city. Is my city growing up as an industrial city? Are there SEZs that are coming up in a particular area? Do I have IT areas in a particular area? Is there a possibility that these urban areas, rural areas will also sort of get into my city boundaries? So understanding your city, because your city is a live entity. Your city is growing every day. So understanding the live entity that your city is, and excuse me, and understanding the challenges that you will have, you might encounter, all of us will have to go for a holistic planning and an end-to-end preparation so that we actually deliver sanitation outcomes the way we are supposed to deliver. And these kind of programs are not just essential, but they are so well timed. So well timed because all of us are looking at the next level of our journey of sanitation. At least in India, all of us are absolutely charged up and triggered to look towards the next phase of Swachh Bharat or Clean India mission that some of you might know this program as. So understanding well what works, understanding well what hasn't worked so well, and understanding that how do we have a holistic approach towards it is key towards success. I would request all participants to come up, openly share their experiences, contribute towards the entire treasure trove that is building up in the sanitation fraternity. And I was noticing a very, very interesting thing. Your program is getting over on a spectacular date, 19th of November, which is the World Toilet Day. And we are looking at having a lot of activities around that period to trigger once again the second phase of India's toilet journey. Already we have embarked on the journey, but there is always, sanitation is something, unless you keep on hammering the same things, keep on refining, keep on recharging, we will not go to the next level. So we are looking at a lot of activities. I look forward to all of you engaging with us in different forums. I wish each of you all the very best. And I thank Professor Chari and his entire team for curating and moving ahead with the fourth cohort of what is this very, very interesting and timely online certification program. And I wish you all the best for having a fantastic couple of weeks learning and experience sharing. All the very best. Thank you for inviting me. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. A big round of applause from all of us to you for taking out your time. In fact, a couple of your ideas that you said about learning, peer learning. In fact, we started this peer learning exercise of all the earlier 3 cohorts, and this cohort also will join. So we are creating a community of almost like 500 practitioners speaking the same language of garbage-free urban systems, used water management urban systems. So I think that is very, very important. And the second important point you made, nudging is very, very important. Sometimes we overdo it, we repeat the same messaging again, but I think that is equally important. And that's exactly these courses are all about. Thank you so much for taking out your time. I think we need to capture this moment. I request all the delegates, if possible, to switch on your cameras so that we can just take a photo with Joint Secretary, and then we will move on with the next round of the program. Thank you once again, everyone. On behalf of the participants, on behalf of Dr. Sitaram, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for taking out your time. So if you can switch on your cameras, then we'll take some pictures. Josna, over to you, please.
Yes, sir.
30 seconds. 30
so
seconds.
Just waiting for 2 seconds for participants to come on the cameras, please. So yeah, keep smiling for the next 3-4 seconds because you're there on 5 screens. Yeah. Last one to go.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Josna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
So much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the inaugural session. I once again thank dignitaries from ADBI, dignitaries from JICA, dignitaries from Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Dr. Roshan, Hashimoto-san, all of you for joining the inaugural session. The inaugural session will continue now with little more details about the course, how we are going to conduct the course, what are the modalities, do's and don'ts. So now I'll pass on the mantle to Dr. Banerjee. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As a next part of our session today, we would like to have a little bit of introductory kind of interaction with our present cohort participants. And I keep the forum open for all the present participants to speak, put on your mic and speak up. What are your expectations, learning expectations, experience sharing expectations that you would like to have from us in the coming few months?
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, we have one of our alumni member waiting to share his experience. Maybe we could call him first and then go for the participants.
Sure. Please do, Kala.
Yeah, Professor Shankar from BRICS Pilani.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir. Please do share your learning.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. Thank you, Ms. Josna, for this wonderful opportunity. So I'm here to share my experience. I was part of the cohort 3, which happened between March and May 2022. Professor Chari, next time you should also have a session for ragging our juniors.
It's banned, sir. It's banned.
Yeah.
How do you promote that?
I think BITS has a BITS, Pilani and BITS, all the campuses have no ragging policy, I'm sure.
Yes. In the sense, like more to have a interaction with our juniors. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So as a participant, I was joining just to understand more about the treatment strategies because I work on the area. But my journey started with that ambition. Then I realized that there are various aspects of the sanitation, which includes achieving the SDGs, the compliance, the gender perspective, the frameworks, tools, sustainable planning, enterprise development. And then this course also brought in various officials, the IS officers, even one of the MLAs were there to share the experience, to talk about the political will to have this sanitation in place. So there were policymakers, and wonderfully there were also people from media. There was a CEO who can tell us how he can make a drama to sort of transfer this information to the common public. Because we might be speaking at a very high level, but the information has to go to the public. So he was helping us to do that. So there was a wonderful cross-pollination which happened among all of us. And then with the people who joined us, and they were the, sort of helping us to understand better, because from academia, we were teaching this course to our students, but this particular stint, what I had gave me a completely different perspective, because I was working with people who are in field. So that makes a lot of difference. I carry this forward. I'm teaching this, whatever I've learned with my students. Also, very important thing is, Dr. Chari just now said that there will be field visits. We missed last time, but I'm sure my colleague, Dr. Supratim is here. So when he is going for the visit, I make it a point that I will also join, and we will share it with our, the peers also. So looking forward to seeing you all in person. I wish you all the best for this course. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time. So please don't miss the classes, because every other session is going to be important, especially the workshops where we will be given very limited time to come up with our results, etc. That would be really making you to stand on your toes. So I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful session. Thank you so much, and all the best to all of you. And thanks, Professor Chari and team, for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Ganesh, for that talk. Now we'll go back to what our plan was, Jyotsna. We would keep the forum open for the present participants to speak about what they would like to learn, if there are anything specifics they would like to highlight to us.
Mr. Srijana is raising his hand. Maybe he would like to go. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Mr. Srijani.
Good afternoon. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Srijani, just one line of introduction, where you belong to, and then.
Sure, definitely. Good afternoon to the dignitaries online and the eminent speakers of all the participants. This is Srijani. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, MVGR College of Engineering in Vijayanagaram, Andhra Pradesh. And it is a great opportunity for the participants like me to join this online certification course on leadership development for citywide inclusive sanitation, where this is an integration of the advancements and achievements of sanitation under the Sustainable Development Goals and Swachh Bharat Mission and Amrit. And now I would like to share my expectations from this particular course, where the citywide inclusive sanitation should aim to change how urban sanitation is thought of. See, by promoting a wide range of solutions for on-site and seaward systems, or centralized or decentralized system, by adapting the needs of developing cities to ensure that everyone has access to securely managed sanitation. See, the development of this CWIS and its service framework presentation should be like an integrated system change for secure and long-lasting outcomes in urban sanitation services. See, it should be a point of convergence that connects the research and lessons of many people, and also a starting point for the involvement of all stakeholders in advancing the urban sanitation. So the movement and the motivation behind this particular CWIS should stem from the ideas which can overcome the ineffective and inappropriate goals for urban sanitation, which includes a public service approach prioritizing the needs of the people. So the practice of this citywide inclusive sanitation will be successful, and significant shifts could be observed with the involvement of all professionals associated with the sector. See, everybody benefits from adequate sanitation service.
Yes, Mr. Srijani, thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes.
There's a paucity of time. There are a lot of people who have raised their hands. They want to share their experiences.
Sure,
so
sure. Thank
I
you.
completely
Thank you
understand,
very much.
and we are sure whatever you are trying to say with a holistic approach, we would surely be delivering you in that mode only. Thank you so much. Can we? I see a lot of hands raised, but may I request Ms. Sudha Shrestha from Nepal to please speak up and then share her experiences. share her learning expectations.
Namaste. This is Sudha from UN Habitat Nepal office, and I look for about this WASH portfolio of the country office. And my expectation as a participant of this exclusive ASCI training, online training course, is that Nepal has reached this open defecation free as a milestone, but there are still lots of challenges. And for the 10 years, decade, we have been triggering the households for access to sanitation services. But now it is time that we trigger municipalities and municipal authorities for managing those human excreta as a public service within the urban basic services portfolio. So this is one of the expectation, and my personal expectation is that since I'm working closely with the government of Nepal and also with the Civic Alliance Nepal, it is like the basic formal introduction to citywide inclusive sanitation that I would like to learn, because we have been this dialogue since last 1 year, 12 months or more, but it is really a right time for Nepal to advance this in a formal and policy as well as in the act as well. And the draft policy that Nepal has been on the table for the endorsement also speaks about municipal inclusive sanitation plan as well. So this is one of the opportunities that I would like to capture, and definitely quite overwhelmed with 100 and more participants from different arena, and this cross-learning will definitely benefit at the personal and at the sectoral level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sudhaji. So from Vijayanagaram, we flew to Nepal. We'll go a little bit aside. We'll go to Miss Sarika, Special Secretary from Sikkim. She's been a part of this cohort. Can I ask Ms. Sarika to please speak up about her expectations?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. Good afternoon, everyone. And firstly, I would like to express my thanks to Dr. Sitaraman and Professor Chari for having so graciously invited, giving us the opportunity to attend this online training. I'm here along with a team of my batchmates, around 5 of us are attending this, because though we are from the urban and the rural area both, since I look after rural sanitation as the mission director for the rural areas, I feel that there is a lot that we need to work in Sikkim, and especially in the hinterlands of the urban areas. So urban and rural has to have a convergence. And for what I expect to take from this training is, I want to see what are the practices that I can adopt and we can put into practice in our tiny state, because sanitation, and as Joint Secretary Ma'am has already said, this fecal sludge management is going to be a problem for us sooner than later. We have achieved an open defecation free status, and now we are almost 50% of our villages are ODF plus already. So, but this is one area that we really need to work. We have already started trying to set up some FSTPs and see what best suits our climate. And from this training, I hope that I will be able to learn much more that we can put into practice. And looking forward to a lot of advice and also assistance and guidance from all the senior members here who have been helping me all the while. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your points well noted. We'll take you through that during the course. From Sikkim, we'll fly to Bangladesh. We will fly to Bangladesh, and I'll ask Ms. Tasneem Tamanna to share her experiences about her expectations.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And I'm working in Department of Public Health Engineering, which is involved for water supply and sanitation system. And I have two types of expectation as an engineer and as my sector. So as an engineer, first of all, my expectation is how to choose on technology. Planning, designing, technologies, choosing, different aspects are there. So my first expectation is I know the challenges for my planning sector, for my designing and technology choosing, and that this field is for a lot of professionals. So I want to know how I make a good relation and how I motivate people and how I work with other stakeholders who are working together for achieving the inclusive sanitation system for my city, for my country. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Tasneem. From Bangladesh, shall we fly to Sri Lanka? Can I ask Mr. Tilina Disanaike to share his expectations of the course?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm Tilina Disanaike. I'm working as a storage engineer in Attached National Water Supply and Drainage Board. Actually, I am mainly working in this sector in sanitation, and I have a lot of experience of how to deal with this. But I think when respect to sanitation, it's all about implementation, because many of us know about how to decide what are the low-cost methods, but it's very difficult to get the engagement of the people. So I would like to know more about the frameworks, how to do it, how to get the community participation, and what is the business entity of it, and all of it. So I'm looking forward for this course very much. Thank you.
Sure. Your points taken, Mr. Disanaike. And from Colombo, let's fly back to Hyderabad. I would have one more speaker. Can I have Dr. Supratim Ghosh to speak about his expectations? We have come back to Hyderabad. He's from Hyderabad, BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee, for giving me this opportunity. I am working as an assistant professor at the Department of Biological Sciences, BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. My research, part of my research deals with waste management, solid waste management, as well as liquid waste management. So my expectations from this course are to listen to experiences from practitioners of this of sanitation, and who are doing real life work on achieving the sanitation goals of the government, as well as learning about the policies which are there, as well as the practical aspects of dealing with the sanitation problems. Thank you.
Jyotsna, do we have time to take any more views from our participants?
I think so, because there are a couple of hand raises. Maybe quickly we can.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Them.
Can we call?
We have Nagendra Singh. So, would you like to go next?
Yeah. Please call up the names.
I'm Nagendra. I'm WASA specialist, UNICEF Uttar Pradesh, and I really feel privileged to be part of this course, because when I saw the objective by Dr. Shari and then Said, Jika, they said the slide that what this course is all about and what is not. So I'm really thrilled to know that this is what I was expecting. So I'm also expecting, because I am being an engineer, but I have not have much experience in the urban sanitation. I was much having working in the rural sanitation. So I'm also looking for how we can move from pilot to a scale, because I have seen many pilots, but they fail. So what we can do differently that when we are piloting, so that it can be scaled up. And the second issue that I was also thinking, that whenever we are doing any technology or any process or any planning, how it is going to impact our environment, because and the climate change and other things, that whatever system, that solution that we are putting in place should not become another disaster about 5-10 years or something like that. So how we can evaluate the impact of those solution on the environment in coming years. And the third thing is that UP is very much disaster prone. So when we are providing this solution, how we can make it some sort of disaster proof, not 100%, but taking into account and the risk informed programming. So whatever solution that we are providing, we should be keeping all those ones. So definitely, I think that a lot of practitioners, they might have done these things. So I'm more willing to learn from this perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Siddharth, would you like to go next? Very quickly, if you can share your expectations.
Sure. Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Professor Shari, Dr. Banerjee, and the entire team for facilitating this course and this session. So I am a civil engineer and I'm joining this session from Australia, and I'm currently working with the building material space. So this sector is completely new for me, very, very new. And but as a concerned citizen, I'm really looking forward to this course. One of the main objectives and the expectation from this course would be to really learn about the current challenges and also the solutions that we come up with. Other expectation is also what are the challenges that we're having in designing and implementing sanitation systems from the initial phases to the final phases. And yeah, these are basically my main expectations, and I'm confident by the end of this course, I'll be able to really gain some very core knowledge from experienced professionals, and really looking forward to this course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Dongo, would you like to go next? He's from Africa.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like first to thank all the organizers for allowing me attending this training. So my name is Professor Dongo. I'm working for the university in Africa. This is in Abidjan. And currently I'm leading a capacity building program on citywide inclusive sanitation. So I have to work with many countries, and I have to work with policymakers, with practitioners, with amateurs, and many people. So I would like, my expectation from this learning, this program, is to share my experience with my peers and also learn from them in order to increase my capacity in terms of leadership, so that I can really best implement this capacity building program across Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Kavita, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you. I'm data analyst working in the innovative solution from Nepal. I've been working with the WAS data for 20 years, and now I'm also involved in a integrated municipal information system, catalyzing COIs. My expectation, I will go just fast, okay? My expectation from this course is that how we can implement this CY concept in other system of the municipality also, because sanitation is not alone challenges in the municipality. There are a lot of other area also which we have to integrate it all together. So I would like to, my expectation is how we can use this concept of CYs in other systems of the municipality also. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita. Well noted. Lastly, I invite Ms. Pinto from ADB.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much. Just very quickly, yeah. So I've heard a lot of civil engineers. I'm also one. I've been working with ADB for a couple of years, and I've been studying and working on fecal sludge management for a few years as well. And my expectation from this course is really to get a better regional understanding of the tendencies and the policies that have been associated with the great success that has been seen in India as well, but also learn from the peers here and understand better what are the difficulties that people have been facing, and then brainstorm all together, I guess, how we can improve this and expand the success of CYs. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Dr. Banerjee, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Can we go down to the next part of the session?
Yes.
Where we talk to the participants about the different course modules we would be going through next few months.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So this, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So this course has been divided into 13 modules, and we will start with giving you an overview of urban sanitation and introduction to what is CWIS. Then we'll talk about the different principles of CWIS, like the service delivery principles of equity, safety, sustainability. Then we'll talk about the system deliveries like responsibility, accountability, and resource planning and management. Later on, we'll talk about the environmental standards and how do we comply to these standards, how do we look into that. A very important part is the gender inclusive. When we are talking of inclusive sanitation, we are talking of gender perspective and sustainable sanitation, how they work. So looking into the tools, frameworks, and of course, when it comes to sanitation, it's not only just a centralized sanitation, it's on-site sanitation systems and how they work. Next slide, please. So in the next, we will talk about the different parts of the service sanitary chain. We start with the containment systems, then we'll go into emptying and transport systems. We'll talk of the different processes and treatment technologies that are existence. Of course, we'll talk about sanitation behaviors and how it affects our life, and then how we can take it forward. Of course, in between, we would have these workshops on innovations and sanitation entrepreneurships. I mean, already Dr. Ganesh told you that there would be innovation workshops. There would be workshops where you would have to either work individually or in groups. And later on, we'll talk of, it's not just putting up these systems, it's monitoring them, evaluating them, and then improving them for improving them. And then what are the strategies to that? And of course, to do all these, you need finance and how sources of financing in FSSM works. Finally, if you have all done, how do you sustain this activity of citywide inclusive sanitation, how it becomes self-sustainable? So in these 13 modules, we'll start from giving you the concepts to how you keep it sustainable. In between, we'd have workshops. We would ask actual practitioners to come and share their experiences. Of course, we have visits. Can we go to the next slide? Jyotsna. So that's how we have designed the pedagogy of the course. There would be self-learning materials which will be provided in the learning management system, for access for which will be given to you very shortly. And I don't ask you to go for more, but I would ask you to spend at least 1 or 2 hours weekly to go through those learning materials, which will be mainly video-based case studies. So I'm sure you will not get bored reading through documents. There will not be much of documents. It will be more video-based, evidence-based videos, which will help you learn. Of course, there would be sessions of peer learning sessions where we'll be having case discussions, presentations, action plans, and experience sharing amongst the participants as well as the experts. This we will keep to a span of 1.5 to 2 hours every Wednesday and Saturday, preferably between 4 to 5:30 in the evening. If at all there is an up-down, we will let you know accordingly. And then the third part would be the social innovation workshops, which we'll come time to time and we'll let you know. So this will be the way we will go through the course in the next few months. The next slide. Yeah. So of course, when you are going through a course, I'm sorry to say there would be a little bit of assessment. So you're back to a student mode. So there will be a little bit of assessment done. So your first primary assessment would be attending these contact sessions. We would be noting down your attendance. And for those sessions, I would ask you all of you to be present, be on your camera, be actively participating, asking questions, sharing your ideas. And that is how it will work. Then there will be these innovation workshops where you might have to work. We have designed them. You might have to work individually, or you might have to work in a group, which will be another 20% of your assessment during the coursework. You will be shared with 2 or 3 quiz questions with multiple choice questions or otherwise, which you will have to attend and submit, which will be again another 20% of your assessment. And finally, before the conclusion of the course, you would be given an action plan assignment, which you'd have to submit in a due possible time. And then that will do the other part of the assessment, and that will qualify you. So 40% of your attendance, 20% of attending the workshops, 20% quiz, and 20% of your action plan would sum up, and you will qualify to get your certificate at the end of the course. Thank you. The next part, I would ask Jyotsna to take you through the learning management system, how you would access the system and how would get into those learning materials that have been uploaded for you and you have to go through. Thank you, Jyotsna. Please take on.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I know we are slightly delayed, so I'll not take much time. I'll just run you through the LMS system that we have. So we have a learning management system for this course. So you can direct it through our course website, which is civils.asci.org.in. So we'll share all these links and everything on WhatsApp and also over email. So you'll find a login button, and when you click on that, you will be directed to the LMS page. So username would be your email ID. We will be verifying your email ID with you post this session. And password will be same for everyone. Just for the ease of connectivity, we have given the same password. So as soon as you log in, you will be finding all the modules over there. So on the left side banner, you can see the course modules. And then we have self-study material uploaded over there. There are documents, case study notes, videos, presentations, a mix of material is available. And apart from that, we have also provided some additional reading. So if you're done with all the self-study, you can also read the additional material. So this has all the policy documents and stuff. And if you feel like you need more information, you can anytime reach out to us. We are available for you. So this is the LMS system. This is screenshots that I would like to show to you. And yeah, and also it has calendar. So all the contact sessions will be updated in the calendar, and also we'll be sending you calendar invites to your personal email as well. So you can
a bit on LMS. Many of the practitioners, some of them may not be aware of. It's about learning management system. Can you give in 30 seconds what is this LMS system and how this will supplement your WhatsApp group that we have?
Okay, yeah, sure, sir. So this is a place where you find all the material which is related to the course, the module wise. So WhatsApp will be mainly using for communication. So about the alerts about the course or about the next event, we'll be posting on WhatsApp. But LMS is something where you'll find the material. So all the presentations, speakers' presentations, notes, and also reading material, everything will be available for you on the LMS. At your own pace, you can go through all the modules, you can read, and you can see the videos which are uploaded over there. Yes, so apart from LMS, we also use Slido, which is an interactive app. So we'll be sharing the link with you over WhatsApp. So this is mainly to answer your questions. So here you can anytime in the day, anytime when you're going through the material on the LMS or before the contact session, if you have any doubts regarding any topic or any module, you can put your questions in this link. So we will place this link in the WhatsApp and we'll continue to place it every day. So you can easily type in your question and your name. So once you type your name, it will be stored. You need not type it every time. So you can see how the question will be seen here. So you can also see your other participants' questions. And if you think that you have the same question, like I've asked you, what is CVIS? And if you have the similar question, you can put a thumbs up over here so that the question will be highlighted and it can be taken up the first. So this is about the Slido. And these questions will be answered during the contact session. And after that, we will be pasting the answers in the app also. So you can see here the moderator answering to the question. So this serves as an FAQ for you. You can post you have all the questions together in one place. So this is about Slido. So we'll be using mainly 3 platforms: WhatsApp for communication, LMS for reading material, and Slido for question and answer. So yeah, this is about the platforms that we use. And finally, what we ask from you is to keep during all the contact sessions, to be on time, to keep your video on, and also to mute yourself when you're not talking, and to go and to read the reading material that is available on LMS, and just to be attentive and support us in this journey. Yeah. So for any queries, or just a last point, sir. So for any queries or feedback, we are always available for you. You can ping us on WhatsApp, or you can write to us to this email. And also we have a YouTube channel. The details will be shared to you after this session. So we have videos and a couple of recordings on that. We'll share you the details separately.
Josna, can you go back to the earlier slide? Just
yes.
30 seconds. So just 1 or 2 points Josna gave you. There is WhatsApp, where you're already a part of this network, where most of the information is shared. But this information is actually, WhatsApp is primarily for information sharing. Much of the knowledge is in the learning management system. So we encourage you, I know there'll be a bit of inertia, but we encourage you to log into learning management system. But if you are finding it very difficult, we will also back it up this information on the WhatsApp group also. But we strongly encourage to go to LMS, Learning Management System. The feedback and Q&A, there is a simple tool called Slido. We will again put it in the group, in the WhatsApp group, as well as otherwise email. So use it for recording your questions so that your question specific. Every city has its own problems. They have their dedicated challenges. So this is an opportunity where the speakers can address your specific problem, specific concerns. So use Slido for these applications. Thank you. Josna, over to you.
Yes, sir. So I'm done. So request Banerjee sir to do the
I
closing.
also request one small thing. Please use social media to amplify your views. Tag all of us. If you are a social media buff, Twitter, LinkedIn, please promote this idea so that it reaches more and more people. Not promoting the course alone, but promoting ideas that comes out of this conversation. So please use social media and tag us, either Twitter or LinkedIn, whichever platform you use, and we would be happy to retweet it so that this sanitation community and the messaging goes beyond this 100+ people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah, that's it from my end. Banerjee, sir, would you like to do the closing remarks?
Yeah, before the closing remark, the 1 or 2 points, I see a lot of participants who are with their mobile brand names, Samsung and all. I would ask all the participants to please edit your Zoom settings and join in with your own names. I told you 40% of your attendance would be taken up by your attending to the sessions, and we would be taking up your names during the session. That is one point. And try to be on the camera and be interactive. That's Jyotsna, I guess, no. So am I missing out any important point?
No, I think.
No. No. So, our next session would be seeing you again on Thursday.
Yes, so just a correction in the schedule. We did say
Right.
that we'll be meeting every Wednesday and Saturday, but the next session would be on a Thursday, that is 15th. So we will be meeting a little early because we have one of the expert joining from Japan. So just to adjust the time, so we are starting a little early from 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, that is 15th of September. So request all of you to block your calendar. So we'll also do it from our side.
This is an exception, but please cooperate. Otherwise, we have everything fixed schedules. This is just an exception. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, and then see you. See you on Thursday again.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.